Hey everybody, this is Modern Refugee. I spent the last couple of days making cider. We made quite a bit and we canned some, and I got a gallon or so here left over that I'm going to make some Applejack for you guys. And Applejack is a hard fermented cider, so it keeps really, really well in a cool basement like what we have. And after a few weeks after it sits, then when your buddies come over, you can toast the world, whether it's going good or bad, depending on what the situation is. But anyway, I'm going to turn the camera around here. I'm going to show you the ingredients, talk to you guys a little bit about it, and show you how to do this. There is the main ingredient. That's the cider that we pressed there the other day, and I got a good gallon, maybe a gallon and a half there in a food grade bucket. It doesn't really have to be precise because we're gonna be tending this as we go along. But the first thing that you want to do to this is you want to add some sugar into it. Now you can use either white sugar, but typically when you make Applejack, you're going to use a brown sugar, and that's what I got here. I got 2 cups in my old cup measure here of packed light brown sugar. We're going to give this a good stir because the sugar is what the yeast uses to make the alcohol. Let's get that stirred in. And when the yeast uses up all the sugar, it goes dormant. Or when the alcohol content gets, I believe 19% is the magic number, where then the yeast go dormant. You can't get the alcohol content any higher than the 19% naturally without distilling it. But if we can get it to that point, we're good. See, typically when you're making any type of wine or hard cider or anything like this, you're going to ferment it like this for a few weeks, and then you're going to taste it. And if it's not sweet enough for you, you add a little bit more sugar in. But whenever you add sugar in, it's going to start working again. So you always want to have, I know they got fancy things, little plugs with little vents and stuff in it for actual wine making and whatnot. But I just use a bucket and I leave kind of the one corner up so the gas can escape. Now, there's yeast actually in the apple peelings naturally. I mean, there's yeast pretty much on everything. That's how you can make sourdough starters. But I actually took a ladleful out before I started, and I'm going to throw in a packet of active dry yeast into this, just to sort of wake it up a little bit before we add it into the full mixture. Now, I know there's brewer's yeasts, and there's specialty yeasts and champagne yeast and all that other stuff. But you know what? I can never remember the old timers ever using anything except the regular bacon yeast that they used for everything else. Whenever they made wine or country wine or dandelion wine or tomato wine or hard cider or raisin wine or whatever, they would just always use a regular yeast, and I'm no different. So anyway, you can see there it's gotten cloudy, and that's the yeast mixed in. And when this fires up, it'll start to foam. But I'm pretty, this yeast is pretty new, so I'm not too concerned that this isn't alive in there. We're just going to take that, and we're going to add that right in. Get all the stuff out of there as much as we can. And we're going to just give this a good stir. Now there's pretty much nothing else that we got to do. The yeast is going to do the work for us. I'm going to stir this about probably every other day. I'm going to give this a stir for at least a couple of weeks, and then I am going to taste it and see once what the sugar content tastes like, and see once what the flavor is. Now, you can also add stuff into hard cider, like if you want it to have a cinnamon flavor, you could throw a cinnamon stick in here, or you could throw a couple of cloves or an allspice and a little piece of cheesecloth to give it a little extra flavor. But I'm just going for straight Applejack this time. I'm not going to add anything else into it. I'm just going to go with just the sugar and the cider to see once what kind of flavor I'm going to get out of this guy right here with the brown sugar. White sugar, yeah, I said you can use white sugar too, but that little molasses flavor in there I think goes good with a cider. But anyway, I am going to let this work here, and hopefully in a couple of weeks I'm going to come back and do a follow-up video on it for you guys, and kind of give you a taste test on camera to show you give you guys an idea of what the flavor turned out like. But anyway, this is Modern Refugee. Appreciate all my subscribers out there. Hope you guys got a little information, a little entertainment, and another idea again to do with some of the stuff that you might run across. Like I said, making cider is pretty simple. I'll put a link in the description for my cider making videos for you guys as well, so you got that for your reference. But anyway, you guys have a good one.